This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month, you gain access to not one, but two podcasts. $5 gets you Takeout, a monthly commentary track, where Ben and I decide we don't want to put in the effort of, playing something, because we're too busy. Mostly we're too busy trying to get caught up in FGO events, because, we keep putting them off, and then it's I gotta do these all in, a weekend. So instead we just watch something and talk over it. And then $2, speaking of fate, hey, look at that. $2 gets you, that's hell, you're walking into a monthly series where Ben comes to me with questions about grinding events in FGO and other stuff too. It's a series where Ben asks me questions about Fate Stay Night, Fate Grand Order, and the extended Nasuverse, and I do my damnedest to answer it. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes not so much, and then everybody tells me how wrong I am on the Discord. If you think that sounds like fun, head on over to patreon.com/thegorge. Kick in however much you can. We appreciate everyone from $2 to $10 to $50, but don't give us $50 a month, because that's a scam. That's patreon.com/thegorge.
Thank you to Rodsters, Ben's Delivery Service, Palm of Power, Jathby Dratus, Steel Condor, Nihar Bot, Red Lantern Reviews, Holy Star 64, Neon Hellcat, Patrick Perez, Roddy 1/2, Saturn, Alice Marks, Shia, Magus, Jack, Liam Lane, and that other one dude.
It's getting long, which I appreciate. But it is getting long, so we might have to think of an alternative somehow. That's
I can't wait. I can't wait until we have enough patrons that I have to think of an alternative way of saying everyone's name.
Maybe we put everybody's name somewhere else. I don't know. We have to find a way. What we'll do is we're gonna put you all in the background of every title card, your name.
Yes.
This can be a list of your names, at 20% opacity over every single title card.
Perfect.
I think that's a good idea. Anyways, Ben, what is this week? We kind of had our schedules have been weird, but we're realigning and everything is back. What are we? I feel like something's been going on.
Well, we didn't have an E3, but we had fake E3.
And
And
honestly, fake E3 continues to suck ass in comparison to real E3.
It's just as good.
Is it?
It was just as good. Look.
Is it? I don't know. It's a bunch of, it's funny to me, the actual Summer Games Fest part was the worst part. There have been the actual Jeff Keighley Summer Games Fest thing that was hosted by Mr. Keighley and should have had the Muppets in it. That one was bad, but then other ones have been pretty good. It's very weird.
It's strange. But they spread it all out from Thursday to today, and there's still more stuff happening later in the week that is still technically under the umbrella of Summer Game Fest.
So we literally just got done with the Capcom show, which was small. It was I wasn't expecting a lot. I mean, there was more in the Capcom show than I thought we were gonna get, which was nice. But we literally watched the Capcom show an hour ago. And then I'm really annoyed that Square Enix was we're doing our 10-minute show. We're doing it on the 16th. So after we record this episode, it's we're gonna have to wait until the end of the month to talk about the Square Enix show.
And too long for us to delay this episode.
Yeah, the 16th that's Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Thursday. So no, we couldn't wait until Thursday because then we just would have had a whole nother week with no episode. So it was fine, fuck it. We're just gonna have to wait until the end of the month. Or what you do is you join our Discord and then you can just come and talk to us about the show as it's going on, because we have a streaming channel. We have a stream chat channel. I have a big brain. That's me plugging the Discord right now. I'm good at this.
But
mostly
there were still announcements.
Yeah, okay.
There's still some announcements. So I'm just gonna scroll down from the start of the show to the end of the show, and we'll see what looks good.
I will say, what have you watched? Which ones did you watch?
I watched, well, technically the Sony conference that was like a week ago.
Does that count?
2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's part of Summer Game Fest.
Oh, well, Sony.
There was
Okay.
that. There was we watched the Jeff Keighley's show.
We watched Jeff's show.
Uh,
I didn't watch Gorilla and I didn't watch Wholesome. I watched Future Games, which is way better than I expected.
I watched Gorilla. I watched Future Games. I watched Netflix a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We
both watched. We streamed Microsoft.
Yeah, we
actually
streamed
did stream
Microsoft. And then I watched PC Gaming.
Okay.
And Capcom.
Okay. Yeah, we both watched Capcom. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep track.
Only a few of those shows had anything.
Great.
So I'm just gonna go down this list thanks to the E3 recap site.
Thanks, E3 recap. I guess we're starting with Sony?
Yeah, because technically the first show was the Warhammer show, and I didn't watch any of that, and I don't really care about Warhammer, so I'm not gonna talk about anything.
We're not talking about the Warhammer show.
Sony had some stuff.
It had things. Most of it went right through me, except for the one.
We saw. So looking at the list here, RE4.
Yes, they did. They did start off strong with RE4. That is true.
That's real. That's coming. We'll talk more about that later.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the show.
Here we go. I've also got it open so we can actually look through it more. So we did RE4. They said RE Village
is
VR.
Getting,
who cares?
Yeah, VR.
The funniest part was when The Walking
we were in a Discord call.
Yes.
Watching it, and we were all like, is this the RE8 DLC? Is this
what
it's
Leon
gonna be?
DLC
like, is it? It's set in like Louisiana, so like, is it like?
We both got really excited that it was Joe Baker DLC.
Yeah, we're like, and like I saw like feminine hands, so I was like, oh, is it Zoe? Is Zoe the playable character? Then no, it's The Walking Dead.
It's a Walking Dead. Cause see, like the transition between Resident Evil VR and The Walking Dead, which this Walking Dead game is also a VR. That transition was like immediate. There was no like tapering off and be like, okay, here's something by someone else. It was just like bam, bam. So I thought we were still talking about Resident Evil, and it's like, oh, cool, we're going back to Louisiana. That's cool. No, it's something nobody cares about. Dun, dun, dun. What else? Just kind of skipping around. Stray.
Yeah. Spider-Man coming to PC.
Correct. Which means Spider-Man's mods. You can finally have a Spider-Man swinging around New York with his dog swinging around, which is gonna happen. Of
course. Stray looks cute.
Stray looks cute. Has a release date finally. This is one of those games that's like been kind of an indie darling that's been at a bunch of shows and has just been like, ooh, look at this sizzle of like, you know, a cat in a robot world, and it's all very cool and cluttered and neon. It's like, that's great. And we just haven't really had like a what's the word? Like a release date or any kind of time frame for when it was happening, but we have that now.
Any real substance to it.
We have that now. It looks cute. I'll probably actually play that one. Callisto Protocol. That's one of the big ones from the show. Like that was one of the big ones, at least for me, because I love Dead Space. I really like Dead Space, and I was always sad about what EA did to Dead Space, and this is just like aggressively Dead Space. Like it's just Dead Space, folks. Like,
you see a little green bar in the back of a guy's neck, and you're like, oh, it's Dead Space.
Yeah, it's a diegetic health bar. It's like an over-the-shoulder Resident Evil 4 type game. You're in space. It's very gooey, and there's a lot of unique kill animations from like when shit kills you. That's
and a stomp.
Space. And there's a stomp. There is a stomp, thank God. That's a Dead Space, people. Congratulations, Glenn. And it's no longer set. So originally when it was announced, they were like, it's set in the PUBG universe. And we all went, what the fuck does that mean?
Which means nothing. You could have said anything.
Yeah, you could have said it was set in like the Gobbledygook universe. And I'd be like, oh, okay. It means the same thing. And then they're like, never mind, no, it's not. Like, okay. I was actually really looking forward to seeing how that works. But
it's set in the Godfather universe.
It may as well be set 600 years after the Godfather for as connected as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it looks good. It looks gooey and disgusting, and I like gooey and disgusting. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Eternites. I was not interested in Eternites until like the devs just said, "Yeah, I really like Persona 4."
Yeah, it's made by apparently not by one guy, but it was started by one guy who finished P5 and then went and played all of P4 and P3 and was like, "Hey, I really like these games," and then just made his own.
Yeah.
Happy Pride, the boy in the trailer is a romance option. It's like an action RPG. With visual novel / dating sim elements, and it's it's like a main boy, and there's 3 girls, and there's another boy, and the dev on Twitter was like, yeah, you can date the guy, and it's like, great,
yeah, of course,
we've already beaten Atlas. Atlas will never, Atlas can't compare. They would never be so cool, you know. You can't date Yusuke Kitagawa, and so who cares? P4 5. Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6
like
looks amazing.
Looks amazing.
Holy shit. That first trailer was laughable, right?
Oh, it was awful. Yeah, just showing Ryu's disgusting toes.
And they must have taken that to heart and were like, all right, everyone's complaining about our very generic logo. Mm-hmm. So we're going to aesthetic the fuck out of this game.
Yeah, the aesthetic is just like, for one, they did tidy up the logo and they added some visual flair to it. Good job. Thank you guys.
What's really cool is they did the Resident Evil thing, mm-hmm. where the logo is it's a hexagon mm-hmm. with some like thick bold lines. When it's one way, it looks like a VI. Mm-hmm. When it's tilted to 90 degrees, it looks like 6.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's fucking cool.
Extremely on point logo design now, so good work. But no, this game is just like dripping with like extremely cool aesthetic sensibilities, like all the cool brushwork shit that was in the concept art and stuff for Street Fighter 4 mm-hmm. that everybody always liked. Is now just in the game. Like that's like the hit effects and stuff are these very cool painterly brushwork effects and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so bright and colorful and cartoony while still being realistic, and all of the animations look great. Everything about it just looks so good, you know?
They've added so much like esport design mm-hmm. without it interfering with the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're talking about like a thing where you can just get FGO announcer or FGC announcers mm-hmm. to just like hype up your match.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds rad. You can have like actual FGC announcers who are commentating your match. Their taunts are like, you can taunt before like the actual, buzzer rings to fight. They did this cool thing where you can make faces at your opponent in the actual matchup screen, which I think is great. There's
the implication that they'll have character specific taunts.
Yeah, like because you see Luke taunting Ryu.
Yeah,
and it's awesome. Yeah, there's just so much personality and character and like vibrancy, and they brought back parries, and they're doing all kinds of just like gameplay stuff that people want.
Everyone's new designs are immaculate.
And of course,
holy shit.
That means we actually get to talk about the leak, which is good. The leak in finger quotes, because no, Capcom engineered that shit. I know that they were like, I know they made like a twee little Twitter post like, oh, sorry about all the leaks, these things happen. No, that they engineered that because they didn't want to announce all of them, but they did want to build hype, and that was probably the easiest hype building leak I've ever. It's like the easiest way to build hype is to just leak shit and let people be like stunned by how good the starting roster for this game is.
Fucking incredible. That's so many new characters. And they all look great.
They all look great. What did we say? Is it 18 characters?
I think 18.
Okay, yeah. 18 is a huge roster to start out with.
Yeah.
That's massive, because they're going to add more with DLC. There's going to be season passes, of course. So it's the entire cast of the first Street Fighter.
Yep.
And then Cammy. Oh god, there's too many. There's so many.
It's the roster is the original 8, and then Aki, Akuma, Cammy, DJ, Ed, Jamie, JP, Jury, Kimberly, Luke, Marisa, Mimi, Rashid, Lily, and that's it for now.
Rashid's new design looks fucking radical.
God, he looks so cool.
My man Rashid looks so good.
Everyone looks so fucking
Everybody
cool.
Looks insanely cool. Like every single design is amazing. Like they're immaculate.
I'm obsessed with Akuma's lion mane.
This Ganondorf ass looking motherfucker looks so good in 6.
Oh.
Like, I cannot wait to see all of these renders. We saw some leaks of Cammy, like from like it's like a phone video of a fight, and it looks like there are classical costumes already in, because it was a Cammy versus Cammy fight, and one of them was wearing the classical green high cut jumpsuit.
Yeah.
So, because I mean that's great, right? If there's that many characters with multiple costumes on launch. I mean, I guess it's because we've all been totally deranged by the way modern video games are, which they're so sparse on content, you have to pay for it. But that's so much fucking content, it rules. Like, that's so much stuff in like the base version of the game. It just kicks ass, right?
I saw something, and I'm not quite sure on the details of it, but there's a mechanic called burnout.
Okay.
Where if you break your opponent's meter, I guess the implication is that like they get weaker, like their attacks do less damage, they move a little slower. I don't know the exact details of it, but what I think is really cool is that they will adapt their fighting stance if they're in burnout.
Oh, that's awesome!
Like they're like Chun-Li, in her normal stance ever since like I think 4 has her palms extended.
Yeah.
And her fingers extended. When she's in burnout, she closes her fists like in Street Fighter 2.
That's awesome, man. That fucking whips. Cool. There's just so much stuff. Like, and it looks like there's some sort of city roaming mode that I think.
It looks like there's
it's gonna have like a creative character, because that looks like a creative character, right?
Yeah, it looks like that's. From what I can gather, that's probably gonna be like your hub, like for online. Like you wander around, you can do missions and stuff, and you can there's probably like some kind of story element that you can progress on.
Yeah.
Because we saw in the trailer, we saw when Chun-Li is fighting, she's fighting this girl who is not on the roster. Okay. But she's got like a design.
Yeah, that's true. It's that it's like, I know she's been in other stuff, but yeah.
So that might be like you get to create a character for single player mode, and then like that's kind of like your avatar that you use to go online and do online matches and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much it's gonna be like build a character and then
Yeah.
put it in Street Fighter, you know?
That would be cool if we could have character creation like fucking Soul Calibur. That'd be incredible. It'd be very funny. But
yeah.
we can't have everything. Or can
Yeah,
we?
it would be a little bit weird because like Street Fighter characters are so kind of their fighting style is kind of signature to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Like Ryu and Ken like are trained in a very specific martial art
Right.
that not everyone can learn. And like how would you create a character that can do what like Blanca and Dulcime do?
Yeah.
Like you can get away with it. You can get away with it in Soul Calibur because like even if their fighting style is kind of like unique to them, it's weapon based and there's nothing really like super like specific to one character.
Right.
You know,
that's true.
Like anyone can swing a very big sword.
That's true. That's a good point. But either way, I mean, Street Fighter 6 looks fucking amazing. Every detail that's come out about it looks rad. New Guile design. That's not from this show, but whatever. We're all just kind of condensing it here. New Guile design looks really good. So
he looks great.
He's got a fucking comb and his dumb beard. All he needs is a pair of really reflective shades, and he'll look like every conservative reply guy on Twitter. You know. But it's fine. We love Guile, so we can forgive him for this.
I think my favorite of the new designs is JP. Because he just looks so fucking cool.
Extremely sick. Yeah, all the new character designs are really good too. And yeah, Street Fighter 6 fucking whips. And speaking of things that whip, we're just skipping to it. Fuck you.
No, there's nothing else to just talk about.
There's nothing else. It's just indie shit, and I mean, like, all that indie stuff looks great, but I'm just like, oh, that looks pretty, and then I move on. Final Fantasy 16. Yeah!
It's coming out.
It's coming out. We got a big, sexy trailer for it. And it's...
A big, sexy trailer indeed. Oh,
yeah.
Second protagonist to actually get laid.
I can't believe it. Somebody in Final Fantasy finally fucks. I'm so proud of Clive.
Cloud and Clive.
All the characters.
I guess it's the CL.
It's the CL. That's what it is. Of all the characters in Final Fantasy, the guy the second guy to get it in is a guy named Clive. Good for him.
We need Clint in the next game.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, it looks so good.
It looks fucking amazing.
It looks so fucking good. So
combat
is. May cry.
Yeah, combat is insane. He's doing fucking buzzsaws and
doing buzzsaws. He's got a grappling hook. There's shit that looks like stingers or is stinger adjacent. Like it looks insanely cinematic. It just looks incredible. You just see it and you're like, oh yeah, the Devil May Cry 4 and 5 combat designer got his grubby little hands all over it in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, there's like a party, because the whole deal is that like the story involves like evil empire, but also people who can summon, who can invoke the classic Final Fantasy summons like in their own bodies, so they turn into the summons, and then they do fights like that. And I'm really hoping that this means there's like a real party, because we know that Clive is Ifrit and his younger brother is Phoenix. We saw the lady who turns into Garuda, which, Garuda, call me, what's up?
Yeah.
And we saw a few other people, and I'm really hoping that it's like Final Fantasy 7 Remake, where it's a small cast, but you can swap between the cast, like, easily.
I think that's what it'll end up being.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it not having a party of some kind, just because it's Final Fantasy. That's it's one of the few consistent things about Final Fantasy. But it's just the extent of how you can control them, and who knows? Maybe we'll have like 3 party members, and they all have a full moveset.
Yeah, I understand that designing full Devil May Cry style movesets is like really hard. That's why Red 13 doesn't have one, because he's not in the game long enough to justify it. That's really hard. So if this does have a cast, it will be a very small cast of playable characters, because, you know, even Devil May Cry 5 only has the 4 playable after Virgil DLC, but still, those are hard, because you have to make like extremely nuanced, and like every character has to be really different to justify that kind of effort. So I'm really hoping we have a cast, and if it's only 4 people like it was in Final Fantasy 15, but they're fleshed out, it's good instead of bad like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Then it's fine. I won't mind. And yeah, everything I saw in that trailer makes me happy. I like that there's just Final Fantasy 14's fingerprints all over it, because Yoshi P is working on it, and he's the producer. The music is by Masayoshi Soken, the guy who does the music for Final Fantasy 14, and again, you can tell. It's really cool.
It has a poker rap in it.
It has a poker rap in it. It was like, when I was watching the trailer, I was like, they're singing the summon names. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life!
That's so fucking cool.
It's extremely cool, as that turns out. Whoops! Yeah, it owns. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I don't know. I can't remember. No, I take that back. I was gonna say, is Final Fantasy 14 the game that introduced the idea of calling the summons icons? And I don't think so.
I think that was probably in 11.
It might have been. I feel like it went back even further. I think they might have called them icons in 9. Am I crazy? It's been so long since I
don't
played 9.
remember.
I know, it's been so long since you've also played 9. Yeah. The point is that, again, we both have extreme Final Fantasy 14 brain worms, so they said the word, and I went, oh!
Yeah.
That's a thing I know. And then I went insane, because that whole trailer was incredible. So, yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
I need more. I know it's sometime next year is the release date.
Q3 according to the E3 recap.
That is so brutal.
I know.
The thing is that the thing is about this E3, or this pseudo E3, is that like we're getting a lot of cool things, and most of them are next year. Almost all of them are next year.
Yeah.
It's just like, please. I'm dying. It's going to be a running theme in this episode, folks. So, you know.
Sadly, we will have to wait.
Okay, what else?
Nothing. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, this is all dog shit. There was a Sonic thing that I didn't watch.
So they put out a Frontiers trailer today that looks a lot better and is more indicative of what the game is gonna be.
I need somebody at Sega to fire whoever is marketing this game. Because, like,
whoever's making Sonic announcements in general.
Yeah, first impressions are everything, and Frontier had really bad first impressions, and, like, the subsequent stuff that's coming out is like, oh, this looks really good, but, you know.
Like, we got word that, like, people who have hands-on experience are like, no, it's nothing like the stuff they showed.
Well,
there's so much more to it.
But, like, why didn't they show us that, right? Like,
yeah.
Why would you show us the bad part first? That doesn't make anybody want to play your game.
They also, I don't know if it was at this show, but, like, it's within this time frame, they keep showing off, like, 10-second spots of the Sonic Netflix show with nothing in them besides, like, oh, Shadow's gonna be in it. Oh, Big the Cat's gonna be in it.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Great.
I need a little more than that.
So, you know, I'm hoping they can, like, right this ship and get people actually excited for Frontiers, because, like,
yeah,
the initial impression is very bad.
Frontiers is also getting an OVA of some kind, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll get something like that one Sonic OVA we watched.
Yeah, that would be nice. But that's it. And then
anything else? Because like, boy, this is the first page. I'm just like scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down to anything that jumps out at me.
Nothing on the first page.
Boy, bleak. Let's see. Nope. No.
No.
Oh no. Oh, a little small one. As we keep scrolling, I started scrolling up from the bottom. Little small thing. Killer Frequency is getting a full game.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's gonna be really cool.
We played Killer Frequency on stream one night just to kind of fuck around, and it was like a little micro horror game. It was like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. Really, very, very short. Maybe not even that long. But it was about being a radio DJ and helping the people calling into your show avoid a serial killer. And it ends on like a little stinger cliffhanger where it's like, oh, the serial killer has found you at your station. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Okay. And then it ends, that's just because it was a game jam game. It was made like in 48 hours. But it was really good. It was a cute little concept. It was very clearly made by people in like Sweden trying to write the Pacific Northwest, which I think is always very charming. And all I could think was that if you turned this into, not like you can't make it into a very long game, but if you made it into like a 3 to 4 hour long game, you'd have a pretty good little horror game on your hands.
Yeah.
And they are making a full game. So I hope it's good.
Yeah, I will watch this with eager expectations.
I really hope it's genuinely good. Is all I have to ask.
So we finally have gotten to Jeff's show, which has a few things that I want to talk about.
Sure, okay.
American Art, they really want us to play American Arcadia.
They are really pushing American Arcadia, and
I don't know. I mean,
maybe it's colorful. It's kind of got that kind of like 70s aesthetic that's kind of in vogue now.
Yeah.
And it's like about a whole city that's living in the Truman Show, but they know they're living in the Truman Show.
There's it's like a stealth conspiracy thing.
I don't know. It could be
good. I don't know what kind of game it is.
Yeah, is it like a platforming kind of? Well, it says genre is adventure puzzle platformer. Yeah,
but like the video is implied that it's going to be like a Limbo or an Inside style, like kind of slower paced platformer. But they also mentioned there's going to be like 3D or first person segments, so I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. I've seen like 3 trailers for it already though. So clearly somebody is really pushing this one. And I don't know, it could be good. It just, nothing about it super caught my eye other than the art style, and there was stuff at this show that has had better art styles. So,
Yeah. Goat Simulator 3 had the best trailer.
Yeah. It had well, for one, I didn't know there was a Goat Simulator 2. I don't think anybody did.
I don't think there is. I think they're just calling this one 3.
Oh, I hope that's true. Hold on. We have to Google that right now.
Looking it up right now.
Please do. Goat Simulator 2. Does that exist?
No, there was no Goat Simulator 2.
Yes! All right. Perfect. That's exactly how you do it. Because literally... So the thing about this trailer is that it was one of the best fake outs I've probably ever seen, right? Because it's setting up to be a Dead Island 2 trailer, and everyone's like, oh, is this it? Is it dead? Is it back from the... No, it's a Goat Island 3 trailer.
Because he sets it up. Jeff sets it up with like, we're gonna take a bite out of this trailer, and it's like, wait a minute, this is the exact setup of that Great Dead Island 2 trailer. That game that like then just vanished.
Yeah, that vaporware game. And everybody was real excited. Everybody was ready, and it's goats. It's just goats.
God,
amazing. Extremely well done. It had everybody actually paying attention to Goat Simulator, so, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
It ruled, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent trick.
Yeah.
That, like...
I love getting tricked in that way, yeah.
Yeah. Marvel's Midnight Suns is adding Spider-Man and Venom. I only fired neurons because I saw Spider-Man and it's Yuri Lowenthal, and I clapped.
That's fair. Oh, the one thing that, like, did make my neurons fire, just briefly, was a fucking MiHoYo game. Zenless Zone Zero?
Was that the one with the furry robot legs?
Yeah, robot furry legs.
Yeah.
It looks like an action game. Like a cool third-person action game with fast and interesting fights. And I saw it, and it had some decent character designs, and, like, I don't know, something moved inside of my skull, and frankly, that's all I can ask for. That's it. Oh,
really about it.
I did want to talk about how fucking ugly Super People was.
What? Oh, God.
Like, what are these, like, those... They are some of the worst faces I've ever seen in a video game. Like, every single person that they showed in that game was just uncanny valley enough, right?
All of these designs, like, you remember, like, a while ago, there was that Chinese just blatant ripoff of TF2?
Yes.
Like, they just took the same character models and, like, put them in, like, a chef outfit or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This looks like the Chinese knockoff of, like, Overwatch or something.
It's just, they look so bizarre. And just trying to be cartoony and also trying to be realistic. I don't know. I don't like it. What I'm saying is I do not like looking at it. But it was so horrible that I had to remark on it, right? Because it's just so weird.
You can feel the loot boxes in every frame of this trailer.
Yeah, it's just loot boxes all the way down.
Also, terrible name. Super
terrible.
Like, fuck off.
The most dogshit generic name I've ever heard in my entire life. Saints Row remake, reminding us that we're not in 2010 anymore, and thank God.
I will say that the character creator looks really in depth, so
That's
good
true.
for them. I think they just put out a character creator.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like, I think that's what that is.
Yeah, you actually can just download the character creator. Like, they said you can just go get that, which is very funny.
I mean, it's very in depth, so cool.
Oh, the last 3 games on the Summer Games Fest list are all hilarious. Because first off,
painful.
First off, we have Layers of Plagiarism 3.
Layers of Fears.
Layers of Fears. So you're even plagiarizing the idea of aliens, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dog shit title, terrible game series. I regret having ever purchased the first one. Like, I got it on before I even knew anything about it. I just saw that it was like a $10 horror game for sale on the PSN. I was like, oh, I'll snag that. And then I watched somebody else play it, just bored one day, and I was like, wait, this sucks. Wait, didn't I spend money on this? Oh no. So unfortunately, I did give money to Bloober Team at one point. Sorry. It looks bad. Those games are bad. Bloober Team are a bunch of hacks. I really hope they're not making Silent Hill 2 remake. I really hope there isn't a Silent Hill 2 remake at all. Kill me. Please. And then, to keep the funny train rolling, they showed Gotham Knights. And you know how, like, Nightwing has one character trait, and that is that he's hot?
Yep.
What if he wasn't?
What if he was ugly?
What if he was really ugly and in a video game that looks really bad?
What if he had, like, a really, really bad man bun?
Just like a bad man bun.
Hey, guy, nice man bun. Turns around to reveal he is Dick Grayson Nightwing. Oh, fuck!
Yeah. But like a really ugly version of Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing.
He looks like the Nightwing that would appear in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they look like Mortal Kombat characters. Like they literally just stole those models from Ed Boon, right?
Yeah.
They all look really bad, and Nightwing looks awful. Like he's way too jacked. Like this is the most egregious case of just not knowing your audience and not knowing who this character is for. When you make Nightwing that like triangular, like he doesn't have the doesn't have like the svelte.
He's a fucking gymnast. He's an acrobat.
He's supposed to be like slim and able to sail through the air with the greatest of ease. Come on.
His character origin is that he grew up in the fucking circus.
Yeah,
the flying Grayson.
He doesn't lift. He's a flying Grayson.
Okay, Jason's design is bad in this game,
awful.
But you can turn Jason into a yoked dude, bro.
Yeah, Jason can be a meathead for sure. Like,
yeah,
that's a character who is allowed to be a meathead. But Dick Grayson just being that shaped like a fridge? No, I'm sorry. You got it wrong. Go back.
This is a weirdly like nitpicky thing for me. I don't even read a lot of Batman comics. It bothers me so much that it's Tim and not Damian.
Oh yeah.
Like I like Tim Drake, like, sure. But like Damian has been Robin for over like almost a decade now.
Yeah, and he's really fun. Like, Damian is an extremely funny character who should be in everything. In
a game about Bruce Wayne is dead, probably not though.
No,
like,
no, he is not.
Why is Damian not like the playable character?
Like that would be extremely funny to have the four of these characters trying to deal with Batman being dead, which again probably not though. And have one of them just be like the rudest little kid you've ever met in your entire life, right? Just like a little blood-soaked psychopath who's trying to fill daddy's shoes. That would be funny. That would give it some character.
It's just so funny because like DC has been trying and failing to get Tim out of being Robin for so long.
I know.
He's had so many reinventions. Like he was Red Robin, and then he was Drake for a while. And like they keep trying, and they keep trying to push Damian as the Robin.
It's so tragic because like Dick and Jason, they both got out, right? They are both now. It is now weird for them to be Robin. At this point, they are Nightwing and they are Red Hood, right? Like that is who they are. They escaped, and poor Tim Drake cannot. He is going to be Robin until the heat death of the universe, while Damian just keeps being the better Robin.
And especially poor Barbara.
Yeah.
Who also keeps getting dragged into being Batgirl over and over again.
I know.
Who, in this one, she still got shot by the Joker, but then she just worked out enough to get her legs back.
Yeah, that's not how nerve damage works, guys. You couldn't let her be in a wheelchair and be like a cool disabled character? No? Okay.
I wonder if there's any other female character we can use in place of Barbara, and then like they just look over Cassandra.
It's so tragic. Again, you have the perfect setup for Cassandra Cain to be in a video game where she like really belongs, right? Like again, it's a game about Batman being dead and how everybody's fucked up over it. And that's a great game for Cassandra.
And then they give Batgirl a Cassandra costume?
It's a slap in the face. Is
I
what
hate
it
it
is.
so much.
I hate it so much. I hate Gotham Knights so much.
This looks so bad. I'm sorry.
So
I have to get this out because we're never going to talk about DC on the podcast.
No, yeah, go for it.
But I just need to get this off my chest. Speaking of Damian, I despise what they've done to John Kent.
Oh?
Okay, so John Kent came out as bisexual. Yay, cool.
Great, good for him.
They turned him into the most milquetoast liberal bisexual.
No, not like this.
So they put out a thing. Okay, so also the dumb thing is John fell through a time portal and came out at like a late teenager, so now he doesn't hang out with Damian anymore.
Right.
Even though like the whole point is that they're 10 years old and they're Superman and Batman's kid.
Right.
It's kind of like a thing they had going. So we have to wait for the time frame to catch up so they can kind of inch Damian year by year until he just inexplicably catches up with John.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so they turned John into a milquetoast liberal and gave him the most boring boyfriend of all time.
Right.
And they put out a DC Pride comic.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, where they're like Pride isn't like riots like Stonewall anymore. Fuck you.
It's a party, and then
they have the audacity to put it in the same issue as the extremely good Kevin Conroy short about being gay in the comic industry and having to grow up and be gay, like at the height of the AIDS crisis.
Right.
And have him even comment on Stonewall and how like important Stonewall was. And then in the same issue, you have the gall to be like, yeah, Pride's like a cool party that we go to every year. It's not a riot. That's like, fuck you. That's a slap in the face.
Like John's whole thing right now in the comic is that Clark is off in space and he's like participating in a big war thing where he's like trying, he's fighting an oppressive totalitarian government.
Sure.
To liberate people who are the downtrodden and the oppressed. And John's whole thing is, I'm gonna do what my father didn't and stick up for the little guy, while Clark punches a tyrant in the face. Yeah, and
Superman,
John goes to Pride.
Yeah. Superman doesn't stick up for the little guy. If there's any superhero who's like embodied by sticking up for the little guy and lifting cars off of people, in the middle of a supervillain fight. Yeah, no, it's totally not Superman. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
That makes me so fucked. Yeah, no, it's so trashy.
The shitty thing is that I can't even get mad about John on Twitter because the wrong people are gonna agree with me.
It always happens. It's the same thing. Speaking of, the next game we're about to talk about and shit on. I can't shit on how bad I think The Last of Us 2 is without 40,000 freaks showing up and being wretched. And it's like, no, I'm not talking to you. Get the fuck out of here. It's awful. And so now we can finally talk about The Last of Us Part 1.
Now we can talk about the least worthy remake of all time.
A game that you can play right now. You can go buy The Last of Us, the original Last of Us. Actually, you can buy the Last of Us remaster for PS4, pop it into your PS5, and it will run immaculately. It will be just fine. It will look great. It's still beautiful. The lighting is still perfect. Like that game still looks incredible.
They're like, we rebuilt it from the ground up.
Why? Why would you do that? Why would you spend all that effort? Don't you have other video games to be making?
You already remastered it. Why did you need to remake it?
You remastered it, and it's a great remaster. It's beautiful. It's incredibly faithful. It's a perfect, like, it takes a PS3 game, that already looked incredible, and just cleans it up, sharpens the textures, makes it run at 60 frames, and looks I mean, the lighting is gorgeous. Everything about it is perfect. Why are you remaking it with worse character models?
Like they showed like, you know, side by sides. Look at the improvement, and like everyone I know is like, I don't know which one is the PS5 version.
Yeah.
Like which one is the better version?
The honestly, the PS3 version looks better. The like I said, I keep harping on it because we talked about it in the Discord. The lighting in the PS3 version is so much more like deliberate and dramatic and cinematic, and the other is like it's like that kind of soft, generic video game lighting that a lot of Sony games have these days, and it just looks awful. It just, and all the like, you know how like the faces in the like the first Last of Us game have kind of a bit of stylization going on because they kind of, I mean, it's a PS3 game, so you did kind of have to like cartoonify face. I mean, it is microscopic. It's not like cartoony. It's just it's just been slightly stylized, right?
Yeah, there's just a hint of like an exaggeration.
Yeah, facial
that
features.
Like emphasizes like the downtrodden nature of it. You know,
Sure,
nothing you couldn't do with a live actor in makeup.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, like Ellie and Joel both have like more expressive, like they have bigger, more expressive eyes because it was a PS3 game, and so, you know, you were kind of working through a fidelity thing. And I mean, it looked good. It gave The Last of Us a discernible look. Like, for everything I can say about that game, and, you know, some of it good, some of it bad, The Last of Us has a look. It has an extremely specific aesthetic. And this Last of Us Part 1, this remake, is just like, what if we just toss it out and then just make them look like generic, realistic people? Like,
This feels like Neil Druckmann wanted the PS5 Marvel intro on his game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you know how Sony first party titles have that like Sony logo?
Yeah, and it's got like
at
all
the start of the game.
Yeah.
He wanted that for his game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like it's and they have the audacity to charge $70 for it. $70 to $100 for it, for like the deluxe edition, for a game that's like already come out.
What? Who do you think you are? Resident Evil 4? You have not earned the right to be on every console going forward.
No! You're not even anywhere remotely as good as RE4. And RE4, with all of its re-releases, except for this remake, of course, but like all of RE4's re-releases are all like budget re-releases. You get that shit for $40 tops. It's like, why?
I can't wait until RE4 remake comes out, and then like a month later, here's your PS5 port of RE4.
Yeah, it's insane. Oh god, it's so bad. It's just bad.
Just completely unnecessary remake. Like, why? You didn't? I don't know. Did they even mention like enhancing the gameplay to like be more in line with Last of Us 2?
I don't know. I at that point I shut the stream off because they were talking about a TV show and I didn't care.
Yeah, like everything. I think everything they talked about. You know, obviously we're talking over and stuff, but like everything they showed, like just was more cutscene oriented and graphic oriented than gameplay. So why?
Because the AAA space at Sony is creatively bankrupt. That's why. And they're just gonna throw money at a Last of Us remake instead of anything anybody actually. Yeah, it's like that tweet I saw. That's like Sony looked at Twitter and saw that for the last 6 months, at least once a week, Bloodborne trends, and they were like, "What if we made a Last of Us remake?" No. Put Bloodborne on PS5. Like, do a proper Bloodborne remaster, you sons of bitches, so that game can run at 60 smoothly, please. So, yeah, that's why. It's just because Sony is incredibly creatively bankrupt. It's surprising no one. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Discovered Games Fest sucked.
Yeah.
It was quite bad.
Nothing in Day of the Devs looked interesting.
We could scroll all the way down to Gorilla.
Well, did you watch Devolver Digital?
Oh no, I watched a little bit of Devolver. That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's where the Plucky Squire was, right?
Yeah,
That was
Devolver had some good stuff. Their gimmick this year, I appreciate what they've done because they stopped making Nina a psychopath. Because like they were at the point where that joke was going to run out.
Yeah, that joke got old, and so they're like, well, let's do something different.
So their gimmick this time is that the psychopath Nina was a character that real Nina was based on.
Yeah.
So she's kind of just like this, like not quite the sane man, but like really sarcastic and bitter throughout the show. And
we got Suda51
doing
in a robot suit.
Yeah,
which was great.
Doing a weird countdown thing. They
yeah,
did.
It was awesome.
They did a Never-Ending Story parody.
Yeah, then that's it. Suda51 saved video games, which I could have told you that.
Yeah, they showed 5 games. 3 of them look really, really cool. The other 2 are kind of like cool, but not really my thing. Cult of the Lamb looks a lot like a board game that my friends and I play called Root.
Okay.
And I'm very excited. That got me very interested in that one because like Cult of the Lamb is cutesy little woodland creatures with blood sacrifices of some kind. Root is Risk with cute little furry woodland creatures, but like its whole aesthetic is being just straight cute. But when we play it,
it
tends to dissolve into blood cults and sacrifices.
Sure, absolutely.
So I said that to my friends, and I'm like, "Hey, this is like Root, or rather, how we play Root."
I heard people on Twitter saying that this one was actually really good too. I didn't play the demo, but I saw people talking about it. So,
Angerfoot is someone really liked the boot and Duke Nukem and made a whole game about it.
That's fair.
Card Shark has a really fun aesthetic.
I don't know,
but I don't like poker games, so I don't know.
Yeah. I like poker, so I might give that one a shot. But speaking of good aesthetic,
star of the show
so far.
Until later, but Plucky Squire looks astounding. Oh my god.
So good. Yeah, just completely immaculate art direction. Because at first, you watch it, you're like, oh, this is cute. You're playing in a storybook, and it's like, okay, well,
yeah.
If that's gonna be the whole game, I don't know. Like you can do a lot, but I feel like that would wear thin after pretty quick. And then you jump out of the book, and you jump around to different little vignettes. Like, so you're in 3D, and you're on a mug, and it just looks amazing. Like every single aesthetic is sold so perfectly.
I like the part where you go into a big popcorn tin.
Yeah,
like the big metal popcorn tin that looked really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. This art style speaks to me. The aesthetic, the gimmick, the gameplay, all of it looks super fun, and I'm very excited to play it. The transition from 2D to 3D is very hard to do, like with character design. I like the bit where it turns into Punch-Out.
Yeah, there's a ton of different art styles in this trailer, and they're all executed extremely well. The artist on this game, one of the artists and one of the developers on this game, is actually a former Pokemon designer. He designed actual Pokemon. His name is I think it's Jonathan Franklin, something like that. And he designed Pokemon. He designed that ice cream Pokemon. I don't know any modern Pokemon.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense then.
Yeah. He has an extremely distinct design aesthetic with all of his Pokemon that is very obvious in Plucky Squire as well. He's a very noticeable art style. And it's really cute. He has good art, and this game has great art, and it has lots of different types of art in it, which I'm a big fan of. So yeah.
And then Skate Story. Speaking of vibes,
Skate Story looks incredible to me. I think Skate Story, if it's just like a weird kind of dreamy skate around video game while vibing to music, and you're apparently skating in hell, which is really funny. But apparently the hell just looks like the real world, which, like, mood.
Yeah. I think, looking at it, the trailer, I don't think it's going to be like a Tony Hawk where you go wherever you want. Like, here's a big open playground for you to hang around when. It kind of, the vibe I'm getting is like vaguely rhythm game, where it's kind of like a finite runner, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, where you're kind of skating to the vibe, because like the soundtrack is a big standout thing. So you're kind of skating to the vibes of the music, and I think that it has an extremely unique look. And the music in the trailer was really good, so I think this one could be really interesting and at the very least, very beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to, when we get our hands on it, we'll figure out what kind of game it is, but it's just the energy behind it.
Yeah, it's just very kinetic and just like the character model is made out of mirrored glass, so there's a lot of light kind of reflecting off of it. It looks amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a show I didn't watch.
I did not watch it either.
Okay. So,
but nothing in it really looked appealing. Let's see.
The only thing in here, is that I have seen played before. I didn't actually, I didn't see it at this conference, but I have seen it played before. Is Autopsy Simulator. That's a weird one, but I have seen other people play Autopsy Simulator before, just demo of it, and it is exactly what it says on the tin, but the deal is that there's an overarching kind of mystery plot going on in the background. And it's very gory and very realistic, and I think that looks cool. I feel like it's a game you can only play in short bursts because it is very detailed. You watch the trailer and you're like, oh, that's someone's guts. Okay.
I'm probably not gonna play it.
That's fair.
Just because I'm watching that trailer and I'm like,
that's a
cool
lot.
idea.
It's a cool concept, but maybe not.
The autopsy segments of Trauma Team were some of my favorites because it was mystery. It was solve the murder by analyzing the body and the wounds on it and whatnot.
Oh, one of the hooks of Autopsy Simulator is that it's set in like the 90s, I think, which is very in vogue right now. So you have to deal with like old technology and stuff too, which is neat.
Yeah. The only other thing I saw on this show that like caught my attention in any way is Core Keeper Sunken Sea, because the guy in the title card just looks like Lloyd Irving.
Okay, cool. That's all it takes sometimes. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just like, ooh, what? Oh, okay, it's another thing. But it still looks like him. Ship of Fools looked pretty fun.
That's that little,
I like
that
the
like endless scroller one, right?
Yeah, it's got little like frog or worm people or something.
Oh god, there's so little on these pages that I've seen or that I care about. There are so many, folks. I don't know if you know this. There's a lot of video games coming out.
The Walking Dead, the Telltale game, is getting another Telltale game, but I don't think it's by Telltale.
No, that's a corpse of a game studio at this point.
Yeah, corpse, walking corpse.
I get it. Yeah,
zombie, like
yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Bless you.
Netflix did announce one cool thing.
New Castlevania.
Not
a video game,
but season 5 with Richter.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Rondo of Blood. Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah.
It was just like a sizzle shot of Richter, so there's really nothing to remark on.
Yeah.
But like, it's coming, it's happening, it looks good. So yay.
Yeah. I have a feeling it'll probably be like season 1 is vaguely Rondo of Blood, season 2 is vaguely Symphony of Darkness, or Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh my god, I'm scrolling through all of this, and there are so many games that are just like, this is wholesome games is what I'm scrolling through. Oh, Ooblets finally has a release date.
Oh, good.
I didn't see what the release date is, but it's finally got a release date, so it's actually going to come out, which is nice.
Let me
All the way to
see,
page 5.
Is there anything? Anything?
Please.
Oh, at the Gorilla Collective. I'm on the Gorilla Collective. We didn't talk about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
The Fridge is Red looks really cool. It is
Okay.
a horror game.
Okay.
With a VHS aesthetic.
I'm listening.
With a lot of like really trippy visuals and like weird like warping shit happening.
Sure.
So that looked really good. It was just a lot of quick shots of creepy things.
Sure. And I'm
No,
susceptible
nothing.
to that.
Yeah, nothing super big. Yeah, Cassette Beast looked cool.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
One more. Cassette Beast is Pokemon, but they fuse.
Oh, that's cute.
So you can fuse your
Okay.
Pokemon together, and they combine their their appearance and their abilities.
Sure.
Shredder's Revenge added Casey Jones,
Important.
obviously.
That's out this week. Right?
God, really? Shit.
Isn't it out this week?
Hell
It's
yeah.
out like a couple days, right?
June 16th. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
in 3 days.
Wow, okay then.
9 Years of Shadows is the
Okay.
one that I thought looked amazing.
That's the teddy bear Metroidvania, right?
Teddy Bear Metroidvania.
Yeah.
With a great character design.
Fantastic.
I love it. I think this looks great. I'm very excited to play that.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleQuest. I wasn't really excited about WrestleQuest, but then they showed more about it, and it's got a cool thing. It's a straight JRPG, which I didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought it would have more of a pseudo gimmick. It does have one thing, which is that since every fight is a wrestling match, you have to mix up your moves because the audience will get bored and boo you if you don't.
That's fun. Yeah. Okay.
So you have to like do things that are stylish and like work together and like put on a show while you're playing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay.
What else got shown?
I just had to scroll all the way to Future Game Show because that's the next show I watched,
Yeah.
and nothing really else.
The only other thing that I thought looked interesting was Frogun.
that?
It is a PS1 N64 throwback where you play as a little girl with a frog gun.
Cute.
So you could use that to like hook shot onto things and like grab enemies and fling them around and stuff.
Okay.
And when I say PS1 and 64, like they're leaning hard into that,
Mhm.
not like PS1 with like things the PS1 couldn't render.
Right.
Like this is making coin sound effects. It's like covered with like coins and rubies and stuff to pick up.
Cute. Okay.
Yeah, that looked really good. And then
All the way down to Future Games is where I was next.
Yeah, nothing on Wholesome looked interesting to me.
You know, the Wholesome is
wholesome.
fine. It's wholesome. It's got cute things. It's a lot of cute video games. None of them really speak to me too much, but good for them. Hey, I heard that show was good and that it was just a bunch of fucking trailers. So you know what?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah,
Future Game
nothing-
Show.
Yeah.
Literally, I said this while we were streaming this one. I am actually kind of shamefully excited for Ludo.
Ludo looks cool.
Ludo is an extremely shameless PT knockoff. You watch it and you watch that trailer and it is so painfully obvious that it is a PT knockoff.
Mhm.
However, 1, Silent Hills never came out. 2, you
Yeah.
can't play PT anymore. 3,
And
go ahead.
we need one good PT knockoff.
I need one of these myriad PT knockoffs to be good because Allison Road never came out and was kind of a scam ultimately. And Visage I think came out and didn't wow me when I watched somebody else or when I watched it being played. Nothing about it really kind of vibed with me. It just didn't it was just the house, and that can be scary, but it had some like kind of neat stickiness with shadow navigating mechanics and stuff, but nothing in it like really grabbed me. Ludo from the trailer has like cool, unique aesthetics, and the number 3 I was gonna say is that they're trying to make a sheet ghost scary. They're making Sherry sheet ghosts.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
I haven't seen a good sheet ghost in ages, maybe ever. There's this movie that came out a couple of years called A Ghost Story. It's not a horror movie, but it is about sheet ghosts. And it's really good. And since then, I mean, because sheet ghosts aren't scary, they're just kind of goofy. But this game actually is kind of utilizing it in a cool way. And I'm hoping they can pull it off, because I think it had a lot of, it was unlike other PT knockoffs. It was very like vibrantly colored. It had a lot of kind of weird visuals in the trailer. And just kind of seemed, appropriately strange and unnerving. So I got my fingers crossed for this one. I'm really hoping that this is the one that does it. That gives me some kind of fucking some kind of closure on PT, please.
Yeah.
It's been years.
We need something.
God, please. What else?
Morbid Metal looked cool.
Okay. Yeah, it did. It did.
That's the another DMC game with robots.
Yep. That one looked really good. Entropy Center. I put that one on my wish list.
Yeah, Entropy Center. Portal 3.
Somebody is mad that they're never going to make Portal 3 in the same way that somebody is mad that you can't play PT anymore. So, the Entropy Center is not about portals, it's about time travel.
Yeah.
And trying to fix a fucked up Earth using time travel. By solving puzzles. They're very blatant that solving puzzles is the way to do it, which I think is really funny to just, it's in the same way that Portal kind of framed testing, like the game mechanic of testing and doing puzzle tests. They actually made it make sense in the world. Entropy Center is doing the same thing. And it looks good. It has a quirky little robot sidekick who's funny. And you have a time travel gun that does things, and it's really blatantly Portal, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. What else? Lost in Play looked good.
Yeah, Lost in Play looked cute.
Very nice art style. Character designs look fun. No idea what the gameplay is going to be, but I really like that art style. Sunday
Gold is Disco Elysium, but
action.
But
like if
a turn-based RPG.
If Harry actually slid over the hood of a car at any point
and didn't immediately throw his back out, yeah. It looked cute.
Beer brewing simulator looks fun. Yeah, just as like a chill vibe. Like I could put that on and just kind of like fiddle with it for a bit.
Speaking of kind of Disco Elysium, not like ripping off Disco Elysium, but kind of Disco Elysium adjacent is what I would call it. Serial Cleaners.
Serial Cleaners looked cool. That's very interesting.
Has a really cool art style and aesthetic. Has a neat hook where you are people cleaning up violent crimes and stuff like that. Yeah.
You are sneaking around the cops of a crime scene to dispose of evidence and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. It seems very interesting. Has a cool look. Set in the 90s. That's kind of the new in vogue thing. Instead of setting your game in the 80s, we've now moved on to the 90s. That's fine. And yeah, I think because it kind of gives you a little bit more tech to contend with. And yeah, it's very grimy.
Not as much surveillance as nowadays.
Right. It has a really good, really, really filthy aesthetic that I fucks with.
Yeah. Bright Memory Infinite looks really fun. We've seen that before, but the stuff they showed off now makes it look really cool. I like that she gets a bunch of costumes that look super trashy and bad.
Yeah.
Here's her really, really good, immaculate design, and then here she is in a tank top and short shorts.
Yeah, it looks really bad in a very funny way.
Yeah, I love it. The Last Faith looked super cool.
Yeah.
I know like super advanced pixel art is like the thing, is like, you know, everyone wants to do it now, but this looks really good. It looks very Castlevania. We were like, you can't just say everything is Bloodborne just because it has like a vaguely Victorian aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then we see him do parodies with a rrifle, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe this is a little Bloodborne.
This is actually quite Bloodborne. All right, you get a pass. Phonopolis. Saw a teeny tiny sliver of it, but it's probably one of the best art styles I've seen at the show so far.
I've literally never seen anything that looks like this game.
Yeah, that was gameplay. And it's a, you know, usually at these conferences when they start with this is real gameplay, the gimmick is that it's like extremely realistic. Oh my god, this is gameplay. You're controlling this. Phonopolis has that same kind of hook in the trailer, but the deal is that like it is gameplay of these just beautiful moving drawings that are just gorgeous.
I don't know, like, I guess I would describe the art style as like European children's book.
Yeah, it's riffing pretty hard off of like old Soviet children's illustrations is the vibe I get from like you know, Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, like that style of that very, like the text is what really kind of calls it out as being really inspired by like Soviet art. And yeah, it looks incredible the way it just moves, everything animates very fluidly, and you're just stunned that you're controlling this, you know, like these are moving character models on a screen that you can interact with, and it looks like that. And I just think it looks incredible. It's probably gonna be about 2.5 hours long and cost $40, because these very beautiful handcrafted games like this take a lot of time to make, but because they take a lot of time to make, they have to be very short and very expensive. And I will buy it. I don't mind. I will buy it. I think it looks incredible. So yeah.
Being and Becoming, again, Metroidvania with crazy art style. I love the idea of a diving suit straitjacket.
Yes, it looks really good.
Looks really cool.
Is The Last Case of Benedict Fox, is it not on here?
That's later. That's way later.
Okay.
Yeah. But this future games we did see Deadly Premonition coming to PC.
Deadly Premonition 2 finally coming to a console that it will actually
run on. We also saw Snufkin, Melody of Moon Valley. Very excited to do Crimes.
Do Crimes of Snufkin. Looks very good. That's another very pretty hand-drawn looking game, and I love it.
And then speaking of crimes, the super dope crime of plagiarism with Pal World.
It is extremely funny to me that they almost ended it on Pal World. They decided to end it on like the most generic looking horror game I've ever seen in my entire life. Cowards. They should have ended it on Pal World.
The shot of the player character on their knees with like a bunch of mercenaries pointing assault rifles at their head while a bunch of Pokemon ripoffs are like around them.
It's incredible, right?
It feels like a shit post you would have seen on 4chan.
It feels like something somebody did in Gary's mod. It's a fever dream. It's insane.
There's a Lapras with like automatic turrets on its back.
Incredible. Yeah. There's like I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of just the shots of loading your little fake pal, your not Pokemon, into a gun and shooting with it. And the fact that the little Pokemon can also wield guns, and it all just feels so deranged. It doesn't feel real, and yet it is. And I can't wrap my head around it.
people have been making dark, brooding Pokemon things forever, right?
Hopefully this will kill that genre. Because, like,
like, hopefully, this whole game is just Bob Video Games going, Pikachu has a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
I hope this Pal World makes everyone who does, like, grimdark Pokemon and is like, this is what you look like.
Yeah, this is how stupid and cheap and bad, because this game looks awful. It needs to be said, like, we're talking about it a lot because it is hilarious. It is objectively funny. It also looks like dog shit.
Oh yeah,
it runs like trash. None of these aesthetic sensibilities come together at all. It's trying to be like 40 different video. It's trying to be a Pokemon game. It's trying to be a shooter. It's got it has like crafting and farming mechanics in it. It's one of those indie games that's trying to be like fucking everything and will do none of it correctly, right?
I'm just surprised that they actually got the ability to show this at a game show, because this feels like a Chinese mobile game that infects your phone with spyware and bricks it.
It feels like a bad student project.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it just feels so cheap and awful and bad. And I think it's very, very funny that they just nearly... And, like, the Future Game Show, we've talked a lot about, like, the stuff that was at Future Game Show, because it had a lot of really good stuff in it. I think it was a really solid... I was really nervous when it started, because it was hosted by the voice actors for Geralt and Yennefer from The Witcher 3.
But they did a good job, actually.
I was like, oh no, they're going to do, like, bits and stuff, and it's going to be just awful. But they actually did fine. There were just a couple of like little cutesy little jokes every now and then, and they had good chemistry the whole time. And yeah, I was expecting it to be awful, and the Future Game Show was actually really good. There's a ton of stuff here that I wish listed, and they ended on Pal World.
Well, they ended on Ill, but they ended on Pal World because no one cares about Ill.
Ill was a 5-second long trailer for like I said, the most generic horror game I've ever seen in my entire life. So they ended on a
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, Arctic Awakening also looks fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad it's not a crafting game.
Me too.
Microsoft and Bethesda. Let's get to the good shit.
Finally.
Redfall looks really good.
What? Now that we have realized that Redfall is not it's not Left 4 Dead, Redfall is Destiny, or it's Borderlands. It's a loot and shoot.
My tolerance for quirk, like Redfall is the peak of my tolerance for quirk. It is just underneath my tolerance level.
It is. You are really limboing under that bar.
Yeah.
Even 1/10 more quirky, and I would be like, get the fuck out of here. But
yeah, and I think part of it is also because like the designs still look really good. They don't like the protagonists all look very quirky, but the enemies aren't.
Yeah, the designs are all very like monstrous and good.
Yeah. That helps out a lot. Also, it's got Yuri Lowenthal doing a Southern accent because they couldn't hire Matt Mercer or Troy Baker.
Terrible Southern accent, too. He sounds awful.
Really bad.
Does not sound even a little bit like an actual Southerner. Even a bit.
It's funny how much he sounds like Peter Parker trying to do a Southern accent.
Yeah. He sounds very bad, and it's very... Also, there's a British guy, except that British guy is not British. It's very obviously an American guy.
After having played 14 so much, we know what British people sound like.
I have put approximately 850 hours into Final Fantasy 14. I do know what it sounds like when an American voice actor is very poorly affecting a British accent. And who knows? Maybe that will be the joke, is that he's not actually British. I hope they do that, because that would be funny.
That would be funny, yeah.
But yeah, Redfall looks fine. I might play it. It's an arcade. Actually, it's an arcane game, and it's not Deathloop. So I might be compelled to play it just so that Arcane is allowed to keep its doors open.
Yeah.
You know?
Silk Song is real!
Silk Song real! Real!
When is it coming out? I don't know.
Sometime in the next 12 months.
Sometime in the next 12 months. They very, very pointedly did not have a date.
They were very deliberate in not having a date, but Microsoft was very deliberate in saying all of these games are coming out. Now, of course, delays can happen.
Yeah.
You can delay out, but I would really like to hope that Silk Song will be out at some point in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
If only so that all my Hollow Knight friends will stop screaming.
I guess I gotta get back to Hollow Knight.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I enjoyed it when I played it, but then it got too big and I lost where I was, so now there's no way for me to go back because
it's a really big game, yeah.
I can't open up a guide to see where I was because I don't know.
Right. High on Life.
High on Life is the first Justin Roiland game that I actually think looks good. Because it's not the Rick and Morty art style.
Apparently, I saw this on Twitter. Meister Klasa and Rich Evans are in this game.
I did see that, and I had to rewatch the trailer to see if I missed their voices somewhere. I don't think they're in the trailer.
They're not in the trailer because I could. Yeah, I mean, you can pick Meister Klasa out of a fucking lineup, right?
Yeah.
But they said on their fucking Twitter that they are in High on Life, and of course they are, right? Of course they are. Yeah. Yeah. This game is, I will say, as long as the guns don't talk too much, it could be good.
As long as they rein it in a little bit.
I know that they're talking a lot for the trailer, the same way that all the characters in Redfall wouldn't shut the fuck up in that trailer. I really hope that it's only talking in scripted bit, like when you first get the weapon, and then in some kind of story scripted bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If those weapons are constantly talking, no, that is not a video game I will ever play.
But as it stands, I think it looks hilarious.
Yeah, it looks really funny. It has a really good art style.
Yeah. I really dig that.
Skipping, Plague Tale Requiem looks fine, but it's not for me. Same for Forza.
Flight Simulator is adding the Halo stuff to it.
Funny.
Very funny.
We don't care about Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 announced a new character that no one cares about until we see her naked.
And also Overwatch 2 announced that it's going to be free to play, which...
Oof!
Oh, that's rough, buddy, as they say.
You should not have done that!
If anything could possibly make it more obvious that Overwatch's player count is extremely dire, announcing that Overwatch 2 is going to be free to play at launch, it, right? That is how you know, it's bad. It's bad.
I still think it's hilarious. Again, Soldier going, we are not going to die, we are going to live forever. Remember when TF2 went free to play because it could afford to?
Yeah, no. Overwatch 2 is not going free to play because it can afford to. Overwatch 2 is going free to play for the exact opposite reason. And it's very tragic, but also very funny because fuck Blizzard, right?
Yeah. I can't wait for that merger to fall through.
I know. The Schadenfreude. It was just wash over me like a warm bath. And I will feel whole again, knowing that fucking this game and this dev crashed and burned so spectacularly. We'll talk about more of that in a second.
In a bit, yeah.
Let's see.
The Pit, because Bethesda ran out of ideas for Fallout 76. Will you get to save the Pit? Looks at Fallout 3. No,
idiot. You categorically cannot save the Pit. Now, I guess you could say that the Pit gets better and then gets worse again, but even then, you don't save the Pit.
Yeah.
Sorry. The Pit sucks because it's Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh sucks.
Forza Hot Wheels made assholes of both of us.
Yeah, we actually were talking shit about Forza Horizon, the whole time, because we're just we don't care about car games. And then as we were watching this trailer, we're like, wait, is that a Hot Wheels track? And then instantly both of us were like, okay, I'm paying attention. What's up?
Yeah. We both turn into 5-year-olds and we're like, ooh, Hot Wheels!
Ooh, race cars! Yay! I actually do think that looks fun. I actually care more about like Forza Horizon Hot Wheels than I do about like normal Forza.
Yeah. Watching that trailer made me think like, I should like test the waters and see if my nephew would get into Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good gift to give him.
What if I had an excuse to just buy Hot Wheels stuff?
Then you would be able to buy even more toys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Scorn looks
dirty.
Ooh,
dirty.
Wow.
Bad dirty video game. I feel like
icky,
sticky, brown, very brown.
The later on the devs like did a kind of a breakdown of what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. No dialogue.
No.
So just very ambient mood story.
Okay, I could actually vibe with
so
that
like
then.
there's no characters besides like you, and there's no like, there's no structured plot.
Okay.
It is an atmosphere that you are exploring.
Okay, in that case, that actually does make me a little bit more interested. I thought it was another space horror game, but
yeah,
if it's just kind of if it's like a weird, gross vibes game, then it might be a video game for freaks like me.
Mm.
Okay.
Last Case of Benedict Fox.
That came out. Okay, this is where it was. God, all of these conferences run together. I think this game looks really cool.
This looks great. I'm so excited for this.
Something about the art design and the level design and the gameplay flow just kind of clicked with me. Like when I saw it, it's very unique looking.
A noir Metroidvania.
Yeah.
A Lovecraftian noir Metroidvania.
Yeah, and it just kind of has like the right vibes, and the look itself was just. It's very straight. You have to watch the trailer to like really see it, but something about it just like clicked.
I'm a sucker for a tall, skinny transatlantic man in a vest.
It's true. I'm sorry. I'm a mark, and it just kind of something about it. I was like, okay, I'll give this one a shot. I actually think this one's really cool. So, the big one. Real quick, As Dusk Falls looks like dog shit. We cannot let the French make video games about America anymore. I'm sorry. No. We have to stop them.
It turns out it's not a David Cage thing. It's just a French thing.
It's just the French. I'm sorry. None of you are.
How is this multiplayer?
How do you play this game multiplayer? I need to know. Like,
what does that mean?
Is it like ranked matches on like whoever can make the best decisions in a twist? I don't know. How do you play this game multiplayer?
Is it like, I think the only thing I can think of after having played Detroit Become Human is it's like a voting system. Like you're going through the story together, and then like you have to cast your vote for what decision you want to make. I guess that's the only thing you can do. And I guess that would be interesting because it would be a really funny way to get your friends to scream at each other. Yeah, it would be a fun streaming thing, If I didn't think this game looked like dog shit, but it looks like trash, awful art style. Literally, just we ran photos through a Photoshop filter. Mm-hmm. But you know what has a good art style? What's that? Pentiment. Pentiment looks amazing. Pentiment looks incredible. It's by Obsidian. It's being directed by Josh Fallout New Vegas Sawyer. So, great. Perfect. Sign me up. I would love to do mystery story set in the medieval times. Yeah, very cool. I think that sounds awesome. Apparently it takes place over the course of like 25 years or something. Ooh. It's like a very slow burn story. So I think that looks cool. Interesting. Diablo 4, I was joking in the stream as we were watching it. I was like, just you wait. They're going to get a bunch of female Blizzard employees to talk about how cool Diablo 4 is. That's right. 10 seconds later, it's 2 dude voices and literally 4 different women talking over Diablo 4 and like
talking about how cool it is and how like unique it is and how fun it is, and it's just like, wow. I was kidding.
It's the kind of thing we would never have thought twice about, except it's Blizzard.
Yeah, exactly. So of course it just felt extremely gross and vile.
Yeah.
Like everything that Blizzard does these days. And yeah. Oh, we didn't bring up the fact that Riot Games is also partnering with Microsoft. So it's just like, wow, this is just like the freak show. It's just conferences for sex perverts and freaks, I see. Diablo 4 looks extremely brown. I don't care about Diablo 4. I don't care about Blizzard. Those women sounded like they were being held at gunpoint. So
I like that we were watching this trailer and trying to figure out what the hell it is.
Yeah, we're like, maybe it's something cool. No, it's not. It's Blizzard. It's Diablo 4. Oops.
Sea of Thieves tricked me. Because and this is I'm going to confess this, and this is my fault for believing it. There was a post about Banjo-Kazooie at Microsoft.
Right.
Like there was going to be a Banjo-Kazooie thing at Microsoft. And I was like, all right, I'm going to say I wasn't going to say it at the show, but I'm like, if they announce I should do something, like I should death stream Banjo-Kazooie or something if they announce it. And Sea of Thieves came on and I'm like, oh shit, are they going to put Baron Bird in Sea of Thieves?
No.
And they didn't. It was just a Sea of Thieves thing.
Just Sea of Thieves.
It was my fault for getting it. It was my fault. It was I believed a rumor and I was like, oh, but what if though?
I'm sorry. No. Cocoon is by the guys who did Limbo, and
it's definitely not a Limbo Inside thing.
Yeah.
It's doing something different that I really like.
Different. Got a lot of orbs, so it's very pleasantly round. So.
Oh boy, the GDQ run of this is gonna be a nightmare.
It's orbs all the way down, folks. Wolong Fallen Dynasty is so instead of Koei Tecmo taking a franchise and making a Warriors game out of it, they're taking a Warriors game and making a Neo out of it. Okay.
Which is very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is all hemming and hawing and stalling for fucking finally getting Persona 4 Golden, and I guess also P3P and Persona 5 Royal. But who cares? We're getting Persona 4 Golden on consoles, folks.
The P3P AI upscale looks bad.
It looks extremely bad. Whoops.
But it's a PSP game. There's no saving that. Honestly, no, that's not true. There are fan-made HD texture packs. So just get PPSSPP and play P3P that way. Don't spend your money on P3P, but you should buy Persona 4 and maybe P5R. I don't know. Yeah.
I didn't play that.
I mean, Royal's already on PS5.
Right.
But P4G is not, so get that and play it.
I will say they announced that it's not exclusive. I thought it was exclusive to Xbox, and I was about to be like, holy shit. No, they announced after the show on Twitter.
Timed exclusive.
It's a timed exclusive. It's also going to be on PlayStation, so don't worry.
Yeah.
But you know what's not getting a Persona game ever? The Nintendo
Switch.
The Nintendo Switch.
Sorry, this is never coming out. Never.
Anyway,
even though it probably could handle like P4 or P4G like pretty easily.
They should put P4G on the Switch, but you're never getting P5. Sorry, guys.
No, never. Sorry. Anyway, the Chad Hideo Kojima shows up, announces nothing, refuses to elaborate, leaves.
Have you ever been jump scared by a game developer?
we were joking in the Discord and like on stream, we were like, who are they fucking talking about? Like, what big game director could Microsoft have got? Like, are we gonna fucking see David Cage in Star Wars? Like, is it gonna be him? Like,
well, they were talking specifically. They were like saying like, no, we're still courting Japanese game developers. See, we're working with this famous Japanese game dev. So we're both like, who the fuck could it possibly be? And then Kojima-san's face pops up on screen. We're both like, ah! Oh my god, it's him.
and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm working on some totally new thing. We're like, what? Tell us more. Tell us more. And he goes, nah.
I'll tell you later. And it's like, huh? No, get back here. Come back.
You can't.
You come back here and tell me about your video game right now.
Now here's the question. Here's the question. Is it a sign of how bad Summer of Games has been?
Mm-hmm.
Or a sign of how good Hideo Kojima is? That he can show up and say nothing and still be more exciting than like most of the show.
I think it's a combination of the two. It's definitely a combination of the two where it's like, boy, Summer of Game has been really, really bad. But also I like Hideo Kojima. So I guess it's cool to see. It's some sort of cloud-based thing. They mentioned that on Twitter. It is some sort of cloud-based game, and he is still making things for Sony, but he is making something for Xbox as well that is based, I think it's cloud-based gaming. So
that's weird.
We'll see. He said he would have something later in the year, and he was teasing some sort of announcement in September. So that was on his Twitter. So we'll see.
Yeah, probably Tokyo Game Show. He's gonna announce probably Death Stranding 2, and then maybe like another clip of whatever this is. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. That's right. September is TGS. Okay.
Yeah. But forget all that shit.
Who cares? Do you care? No.
No. I used to care.
And then Todd Howard came on the stage, looked me in the eye, and said, I still own you. And I was like, fuck off, Todd. No, you don't. And then they showed Starfield gameplay, and I was like, fuck. We're in trouble, folks. The Gorge is in trouble.
Todd Howard walked out on stage and said, Starfield's just Fallout 4, but more of it. We both went, all right, 5,000 hours to go.
What if there was Fallout 4 in space, and there's like a whole lot more of it? And also, we took out all the annoying parts of Fallout 4, and I was like, well, fuck.
Did you like the voice protagonist? No? We ripped that shit out of there.
Did you like the real-time dialogue cutscenes? No? Time is frozen and it's first person again. Fuck you.
It's fucking gone. It's out. No more of that bullshit.
You hate that we kept giving you a backstory in Fallout games? Pick your own, motherfucker! It gives you advantages and disadvantages, Ben! Your backstory is a trait!
Oh, you like the Fallout 4 creator character? We made it better. There's more shit to do.
You can
pick your body type.
You get to pick how you fucking walk, fucker.
What about settlement? Build a space colony.
And if you get tired building a space colony, build your own fucking spaceship. Okay, but there's but there's no possible way I'm actually gonna get to pilot the spaceship. Oh my god! Fallout
doesn't have any vehicles in it. None of our games have vehicles in them. We're gonna put the biggest vehicle we can possibly build in our game. As the first vehicle ever in Fallout is a fucking spaceship.
And Todd slapped me on the back of the head and said, $60, please. And I went, okay, here you go, Mr. Howard.
Never doubt me again.
It's such bullshit. And here's the thing, people. A lot of people on Twitter are being, I would think, justifiably cynical about Starfield. Yes. However, that shit don't matter to me. I put 1,500 hours into vanilla Fallout 4. Like, no mods, no nothing. Just the DLC that Bethesda deigned to kick my way. And I still put 1,500 hours in that shit. And I still think it's one of my favorite video games of all time. Like,
We've done, 5 episodes about Fallout 4 specifically?
We have done 5 episodes about Fallout 4. I put 1,500 hours into just the PlayStation version. I have put more into the PC versions. I think at this point our combined playtime of Fallout 4 is something in, like, if you took all of the time that I have played Fallout 4 and all the time that Ben has played Fallout 4 and you put it together, it would probably be about 5,000 hours.
Yeah,
it's an absurd number.
I still get pangs to go back and play Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I will see something, like I will see a screenshot of a settlement or something on like Reddit, because of course I follow the Fallout 4 settlement building Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I will see a screenshot of someone's cool settlement, or I'll see a cool mod or something, and I'll just feel a little voice at the back of my head being like, "Hey Sarah, hey Sarah, hey Sarah, do you want to go play Fallout 4 again?" I'm like, "No, I got other video games to play."
I'll just be window shopping on the Nexus, like, ooh, one day, maybe.
When I come back to it, maybe I'll play this one instead.
I'd look really good in that, actually.
Yeah, it's
gonna be this.
It's gonna be this more. The problem is that, like, however, like, busted Starfield is, the truth is, the genuinely pathetic truth is that I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care.
I've seen people like talking about, like, those 1,000 planets are like only at the best estimate is 100 of them will have important shit on them, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care.
What's your point? Yeah. What is your point? There are probably going to be procedurally generated dungeons on a lot of those deserted planets. And the thing is that on those mostly empty planets, there is going to be like one really interesting shack with some really interesting loot in it. And I will love that shack and that loot. And then I will keep playing the video game. That's the thing. That's what you like don't understand, is that, like, everything that makes people crazy about Bethesda games, like all the shit that most people don't like God love H-Bomber Guy. I do like his video on why Fallout New Vegas is great. I do think, because he's right, like all of the reasons that Fallout New Vegas is great. Yeah, Fallout New Vegas is great, absolutely. But it's not why I like specifically Bethesda Fallout games. It's not why I liked Fallout 3 a lot. Back in the day when I was younger, I put a lot of time into Fallout. I put in a truly ungodly amount of time into Fallout 3. You know what I didn't put a lot of time in, because I did the quest and the plots and I got what I wanted out of it and moved on from it? New Vegas. I've played New Vegas. I've done multiple playthroughs of New Vegas, but I don't just kind of like putz around in New Vegas, right?
Yeah. Significantly less time invested into New Vegas compared to time, like just numerical hours in 3 and 4. And that's not because New Vegas is a bad video game. No, it's better. It's better than Fallout 3. It's
categorically, it is a better video game than both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Absolutely.
But
I don't play Fallout 4 for the reasons I play Fallout New Vegas.
Or any other video game for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there is no other video game except, like, maybe Final Fantasy XIV has kind of done the same. But even Final Fantasy XIV, like, I am playing to like do things, like to do dungeons and do raids and to do trials and level characters and level classes and blah blah blah, right? And
I'm significantly more emotionally invested in 14,
right,
than I could ever be emotionally invested in Fallout 4.
Correct. Like, I have no love or investment in Fallout 4, like, whatsoever.
And that's a point in Fallout 4's favor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm simply there to vibe, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. The story in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 is god-awful. Everyone's a fucking moron. None of it makes any narrative sense, and your decisions are all stupid.
Mm-hmm. It is a video game written by a moron, because Emil Pagliarulo is a hack. And yet I have still put in more time into Fallout 4 than literally any video game I have ever played in my entire life. Yeah. Almost certainly. Oops, I keep pulling out my headphones.
Because I just...
It's not why I play the game. That's not why I play that game. No.
I play the game to vibe and to enjoy a character and to hang out with weirdos and to build stuff.
And that is honestly why we probably should play Fallout 76 together at some point. Like, I hate to say it, because that is what 76 is as well. Like, you're not playing that one, like, for story or anything. You're playing it to hang... It's literally, what if you could play Fallout 4 with your friends, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what 76 is. I hate to tell you, I played a couple of hours of it, and I was like, oh, this is 76, but I could play it with my friends. So at some point, maybe to to tide us over until Starfield comes out, that might happen. Because like that is why I play Fallout 4, and all Starfield needs to be is Fallout 4, but slightly better. And
and more of it.
And that's exactly what it is. So, and because it doesn't have they announced on Twitter, it doesn't have a voice protagonist, and time stops whenever you do dialogue. That makes it easier to make quest mods. Like, one of the problems with Fallout 4's system is that the way it is made, it makes making quest mods really hard because you have to contend with a voice player character. That's not going to be an issue in Starfield. So, like, there's going to be even more content for it on a long enough time scale. Like, that's really all I need from it. I know that makes me a mark, and I know that makes me sound like an idiot to probably a lot of people, and, like, that's cool. You're allowed to have your opinion. We
didn't even talk about how just, like, because this is not Sky or like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, they're allowed to have different aesthetics, and we just you fucking go to the cyberpunk city.
Yeah, like, it has
you go to the Blade Runner city. It's like, what the fuck?
There's like multiple cities. Like, there's, instead of just the one, like Fallout 4 only has the one, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Because again, Fallout 4 is not a perfect video game. But like, this game has multiple, and you can just tell from the trailer. This isn't the joke of Todd Howard lying to me. It literally is there. I can see it with my own eyeballs. There were multiple cities in this video game. So like, there's multiple places. There's lots of different cool aesthetics. You can have your own spaceship. You can have your own space colony. You can... it looks like you can not only design the normal outfit you wear, you can also design your cool spacesuit, which rules. And, like, what else do I need? Literally, what else do I need? If you play Bethesda games, then, like, you understand. And if you don't, you don't.
I do think it's funny that I've played enough Fallout 4 that, like, you see an alien critter like, scuttling by, and I'm like, oh, that's the rad scorpion. We literally were watching, we're like, that's a rad roach, there goes rad scorpion. At one point you throw a grenade, and it's the same grenade on the field indicator that is in Fallout 4. We're both like, hey, it's an old friend. Yeah. I cannot wait to see companions. Who's going to be the Nick Valentine of Starfield?
Yeah, the one that is good and you can't romance for some godforsaken reason.
I can't wait to see them recycle super mutants in some regard.
They're going to do that, absolutely. They're going to recycle that animation set, absolutely. Yep. Fuck you.
They're
also going to find a way to recycle dragons. I am positive of it.
I also love that instead of raiders, it's pirates this time.
It's space pirates. It's space pirates instead of raiders instead of bandits. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Again. If you know, you know. If you don't, you never will. Sorry.
I don't care if it doesn't play well. I care that it's in the game, and I'm still gonna mess with it.
Yeah, like,
that's it. That's it.
If I can simply vibe with it, then I'm happy. If the vibes are all wrong, then we'll have a problem. If I can't, for some reason, just like do my shit in like the way I want to, then we'll have a problem. But until then, I am wholeheartedly excited for Starfield. I am thoroughly on the train. It's literally all I want from a Bethesda game. Like, sorry guys.
And I want to be clear again. This is not ironic.
No. Oh god, no. We're dead serious. Like, this is 100% like Ben and Sara being as real as fucking possible. This is maybe the most excited I've ever been for a video game. Like, and unlike Fallout 4, which I went in with like really high expectations, like hoping it would be like a New Vegas kind of game. I have plenty of time between then to go in with the correct expectations, and frankly, it just makes me more excited. Like, I'm going in with my standards set to like a Bethesda game standards, right? Mm-hmm. And if it exceeds that in any way, cool, great. I'll be super proud of you. I hope Bethesda hired a real writer instead of Emil Pagliarulo. I really hope they did. They probably did, but we'll find out.
The thing is, at this point, if Starfield has a great plot, great, excellent.
Fantastic.
If it has a bad plot, I don't care.
I won't engage with it. I'll go harvest iron for 700 hours.
Yeah. Look, I went through the water purifier of Fallout 3. This game can't touch me.
This game can't hurt me. Sorry. There's so many dog shit sequences in Fallout 3, like the entire beginning of Fallout 3. And I had to slog through all of that, and I still put like an ungodly amount of time into Fallout 3. Starfield can't do anything to me.
You cannot do worse than your super mutant and ghoul companions refusing to go into the radiation chamber.
Like, demanding that you go die instead of them for the plot to make sense. Like, you literally can't do worse than that.
No.
We've already hit rock bottom. In fact, we hit rock bottom before that, and that is taking out the shovel and digging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry. It's fine. It's gonna be great. I mean, it's probably, unless they just really fuck something up somehow, I already know it's gonna be great, right? Yeah. And if it isn't, and in a year we're here and we're talking about how much Starfield fucking sucks, then you're allowed to make fun of me on Discord and Twitter. It's fine. I'll take those lashes. It's cool. But
we'll be too busy crying to check the Discord anyway, so it's fine.
We won't be paying attention. But I mean, like, you know, again, if it is only Fallout 4 in space, then it's gonna be my kind of video game, right?
Yeah.
So it looks fucking awesome. You can customize your fucking spaceship as much as possible. I cannot wait to make some sort of abomination.
Yeah. Did you see someone took like the audio of Todd Howard talking about customizing the spaceship, and they put it over the gummy ship from Kingdom Hearts 1?
Great. Fantastic. Yeah.
Which, again, works out for me, because I fucking love gummy ships.
Yeah, I love building modular spaceships, and it looks extremely customizable. And it's gonna fucking own. Sorry, y'all. It's gonna be good. That video game is gonna be good. The only thing that might suck is the flying. Actually, the flying is probably going to suck, but I'm going to learn.
It might. I'm worried for you because you could not handle the Outer Wilds.
Yeah, I know. I'm really worried about that too.
It looked some Outer Wilds vibes. You might want to stock up on Dramamine.
The thing is that the reason the Outer Wilds like really fucked with me is that the Outer Wilds is bizarrely like an extremely accurate physics simulation of like spinning planets in a small solar system, right? Mm-hmm. So then like there's a constantly moving horizon, and like the planet itself is always moving, and you're trying to land on it, and like all of that was coming together and just like really making me sick. And
it's always on. Like you're always being affected by gravity.
Yeah, and like gravity is always pulling on you no matter where you are on the planet, unless you are on like your home planet, right? So like all of these different physics things are working on you, and the ship is like extremely floaty because it's like made out of wood, and it's just like, you know, it's meant to kind of emulate that physics of space. I promise you, Bethesda has not put that much work into it.
I hope so. I hope so, but I would still just have some on deck.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna keep some Dramamine and just be like, I think fly there as fast as possible in order to unlock the fast travel point.
Yeah, I think the biggest tragedy of Starfield would be that you can't play it because you get motion sick.
That would be, I would probably actually walk into the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll fucking
just be careful.
Just kind of like play it with like half of my face turned away from the screen, like. Ugh.
Yeah.
because like the Outer Wilds is only about the space stuff, right? Like,
right.
It is only about flying around in space and trying to navigate these heavenly bodies as they move through space. So like you can never disengage from it is the other thing.
Yeah.
You are going to be able to disengage from it in Starfield. So if I can just like stomach it until I unlock like a fast travel point, we might be okay.
Mm-hmm.
God. Okay.
PC gaming did have some things.
I didn't watch PC gaming, so
Solstice.
Oh yeah, I did see that trailer.
It's what if you smashed Cloud and Guts together and made her a lady?
It's Lady Guts.
And
like,
she has a ghost sister.
Good for her. Good for her.
And there's also some dude who also has the sword.
Yeah, and they fight each other.
And it looks really cool.
It has kind of a wonky art style that I don't know if I totally vibe with, but like I think it looks cool enough that I would give it a chance.
She does have big MOBA character energy.
Yeah, that's exactly. She looks like a League of Legends character.
Yeah. But right. I'll give it a shot. I mean, she's got Cloud's transforming sword. So, correct. I mean, like, what are you going to do?
I have to give it a shot. Like, yeah. I'm obligated to do so.
There's a shot in the trailer of the sword, like, unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just Advent Children Cloud's sword.
Yeah, sorry.
Also it's wrapped in bandages. Oh, yeah, really? Uh-huh. No, you didn't play Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy at all. No, never.
Cool. You've never read Berserk ever, I'm sure. It's all totally original.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
What else did they show? The Invincible looks cool.
Okay.
It is a narrative first-person game based on a book, apparently.
Oh.
You are on a space colony, and some weird time shit starts happening.
Okay.
While you are exploring, like, the trailer showed you investigating, like, a dig site
mm-hmm.
that was abandoned, and there's a corpse or two lying around, and robots still kind of, like, doing their thing, mm-hmm. like automated processes that get stuck in a loop. Yeah. And then your protagonist in their spacesuit gets a headache, and weird time things happen.
Cool. Okay.
What else did they show? Alters. Has a cinematic trailer. Alters is this dude wakes up on a space colony, in a hospital bed. He stumbles out into a rec hall or to an operating room.
Yeah.
And all of the doctors and nurses working on the patient are him.
Interesting. Okay.
They are all copies of him,
awesome.
Including the patient.
Great. So Gary Vault, speaking of Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. They've made it the devs talked about it later. They've made it clear it's not a cloning facility.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else involved. Why they're called alters.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, since we haven't brought it up yet, extremely funny how often we're like, it's set in space. And at one point, even Jeff Keighley was like, yeah, there's a lot of space games. It's like, my brother in Christ, you are the one who scheduled the show. Space horror is the thing this year, apparently. Very in vogue. Everybody missed Dead Space at about the same time.
Yeah.
But there's just been a lot of space stuff. And some of it's been good, some not so much.
Speaking of space, System Shock Remake was also shown.
System Shock Remake, it looks great. It continues to look extremely good.
They had the writer on, where he's like, yeah, nowadays, I don't know how people actually played the first System Shock, because it's bad now in comparison.
It's very rough. There are a lot of fan patches to make System Shock more palatable. Like, you can Actually, semi-recently, Mandalore on YouTube did a review of the original System Shock. And he was talking about, like, there are a lot of ways to make OG System Shock more playable on a modern system for modern sensibility. Fan patches added mouse look. Like, the original System Shock did not have mouse look. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, patches added stuff like that. And so, like, now it is totally doable, but, like, you have to put in some work to do it, and it is still kind of obtuse in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he showed a shot of, like, your initial tutorial HUD, and he's like, this is incomprehensible. Why did we make it like this?
Well, I didn't know. They were trying something completely new at the time. You know? We have to, you know, like, God love them. I would like to one day play the original System Shock because, I mean, it's still good. It still holds up, even with, like, how deranged it can be in some places. Yeah, no, I think the System Shock remake looks extremely good.
Yeah. Demon School.
Saw a trailer for that. That I missed the PC game show, but I think Saturn posted it in the Discord, and I watched it. Looks great. Looks like Persona, but like strange.
Yeah, it's a Persona. I like Persona.
I like a Persona. I thought the music in the trailer was good. I thought the vibes were good. So, you know.
It has a calendar system, which is a thing a lot of these Persona games miss out on, I feel like.
Yeah, you need the ticking clock of a calendar system to, like, really capture Persona.
New Blood showed off some shit.
Okay.
They showed off Gloomwood, finally.
Gloomwood looks great.
They're doing updates on a lot of their games. So, like, you know, just remasters and HD ports and stuff.
Sure.
But Gloomwood looks really cool.
Yeah, Gloomwood looks incredible. It's very the one for that is Thief with Guns.
Yeah.
The unique, you know, because New Blood always buys dumb URLs to link to the Steam page.
Yeah.
And the Steam page one for that is Thief with Guns. And there's actually an old demo. I don't know if there's a new demo for Gloomwood. There is an old demo for Gloomwood that you can still play. It's good. I played it. It's really good. Yeah. I'm really excited for Gloomwood. They're doing
an HD remaster of Dusk too.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Best game ever made.
Which Dave Oshry was like, no one asked for this, but we did it anyway.
That's fair. Good for him. Oh god. David Szymanski's a really funny guy. He's the guy who made Dusk, by the way.
Oh, David Szymanski. I always get... There's two Daves. There's two Daves.
The face of New Blood, like the funny guy, that's Dave Oshry. Like, he's the one who does all the presentations and stuff. But Szymanski is the guy who made Dusk. He's an interesting guy. These days, he just, like, makes, like, mini horror games. Like, for, like, the Dread X collection shit. Like, he just makes little horror games for that these days. And I think that's really interesting. So... good for Dusk to get a release because we're never getting a sequel.
Yep. Which we don't need it. It's fine as it is.
No, we don't need to, but also I'd really like one, David Szymanski. If you can ever find your creative verve again to make another Dusk, that would be really cool. Thanks. Maybe
someday. Backfire Wall. Okay. I don't know what this is exactly, but it's a puzzle game starring a Wheatley.
Interesting. Okay.
It was a very cinematic trailer. The gimmick, the story from what I can gather is that you are, it's about a phone OS that is trying to not get updated.
Okay, that's good. All right.
And it's a puzzle game. We didn't see any gameplay of it, but that's the idea behind it. There was a bit in the trailer where he's trying to find the trailer file. Mm-hmm. And when it finally shows, it's in like 140p.
Okay.
And so it's just like a really small like postcard size on your screen.
Great.
So I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. The trailer was appealing enough that like, I'll keep an eye on that.
Sure.
And then an Half-Life Alyx mod got shown at the PC Gaming Show.
Really? Is that what that is?
It's called Alyx Levitation.
Okay.
And it is apparently not an official Valve product.
Okay.
It's just a big enough mod that they can show it at a game show.
I mean, that's pretty par for the course for Valve. Because like Black Mesa, like the not Fallout. I still got that on the brain. Half-Life 1 remake that that is so good and everybody's in love with. It was started as a mod project. It was a fan project that Valve decided to make legitimate and say like, yeah, go ahead, you can sell this for money on Steam. So Valve pretty routinely like elevates fan projects into being like more than just that, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm looking at it, I don't see Valve's name on this.
Sure.
Which is, so it's just like, I mean, I'm sure they're okay with it because it's, you know, at a PC gaming show.
Right, yeah. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. Okay.
Then nothing from this show.
I don't even know what
really.
this show is.
Yeah, I don't remember this one.
I don't even know what this one. So we can finally wrap it up for the night. We're almost done because
we gotta talk about
very briefly.
Capcom.
Very, very briefly, because it was a little teeny tiny baby conference from Capcom, but it wasn't as bad as their last one, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't as terrible as last year's, so they actually had, it was all stuff we knew about, but like, you know, it was stuff to show, so like, you know.
They showed off Monster Hunter stuff. I don't really know about Monster Hunter, so I guess that looked cool.
I don't have the time to get into Monster Hunter, sorry. Maybe someday, but not today.
They did not really reveal anything for Street Fighter.
No, I thought they would too. I thought they would do another character reveal, but I guess not.
Like they could have. They figured like they'd show like a Cammy trailer or something.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Or Ken maybe.
Yeah,
we'll finally figure out what his deal is, whether he actually is divorced or not.
I think it'd be extremely funny if he is. Capcom pulled the trigger.
They did show off the fighting collection though, which is a lot of fighting games that have never gotten released here.
Yeah, it looked extremely cool. It has online multiplayer,
including a lot of Darkstalkers.
Thank God.
Exoprimal
looks great,
and it looks fun.
We were all like watching. We didn't stream this one. We just we talked in stream chat on the Discord, and like it's very funny to watch everyone shift slowly from being like, oh, it's Exoprimal, to being like, wait a second, I think this game looks good. Hold on.
It looks. I think that was Dan Southworth as like the evil AI thing.
I think so too. It sounds a lot like him.
He kind of had that inflection on his voice.
It looks like Earth Defense Force, but with a budget.
Yes.
Like, that's literally just what it looks like. It looks like Earth Defense Force, but if it had money.
And you can do sick combos in it.
You can do sick combos in it, you get a robot body. You know what? Fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, it looks good. I am surprised that I actually care about this one.
Yeah. And then we got the Resident Evil block.
Yeah.
Village DLC.
Village DLC is real. It happened. It's actually about Rose.
It's amazing. Yeah, so we got 3 chunks of that. We got the Rose campaign, which we saw is going to be third person, and it's kind of a more mental thing, so they can get away with doing some kind of more trippy aesthetics to it. Yeah. Looks very cool. Third person Ethan mode.
Does this mean we're finally gonna see this motherfucker's face for real?
We're gonna get to rotate that model. Like
they're gonna let us turn that camera around. Like they have to.
Yeah.
So we can actually see Ethan's face.
Because if it's a third person game, it has to have a quick turn, and you can see the character's face and you do a quick turn.
They're still gonna find some way to obscure it. Still gonna have that shadow over his face.
Yeah,
third person mode.
It's just gonna be shadowed like texture over it.
Yeah, exactly. So you're still never gonna get to see his face. Oh my god.
But no, I'll play RE8 in third person again. That will make the manor significantly less scary.
Yes, it will actually make the Benevento house.
Unless
that's
the only part of the game in first person still.
Ooh, no, you're right. That would be worse.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And then mercenaries stuff.
You get to play as Heisenberg and Dimitrescu, and you get to play as Chris. Looks good.
Yeah.
It's cool to be able to play as Dimitrescu.
And Dimitrescu is like accurately tall enough. Like she is 9 feet tall.
Yeah, she is significantly taller than everybody else. It rules.
That's great. That's awesome.
Everybody's just gonna be playing Dimitrescu the whole time. Everybody just wants to be a big lady. That's in vogue. Everybody wants to be the big lady. And then they showed a little bit more of Resident Evil 4, just like a little bit.
Just a snippet of walking.
That's it.
Not even shooting a gun, just walking.
They showed him aiming the gun, though. I will point out, I got excited. They showed Leon aiming the gun, and he was moving while aiming.
Ooh.
Yeah, he
You couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that in Resident Evil 4. You could not strafe in RE4. So that in and of itself, part of RE4's tension was that you had to stop and shoot. So I'm wondering how they'll balance around something as small as that. We'll see.
We didn't really talk about it because we were saving it for this. The remake looks amazing. Of course it does.
Yeah, of course.
I like that they are tying it a bit more to RE2. Like Leon talks about like how he still has nightmares about that night.
Yeah.
How he's trying to get past that. We actually got to see him talk to the president.
Yeah, we actually, and when they showed the Resident Evil 4 remake at the Sony show, they didn't show his face in that one. So in this trailer for the Resident Evil 4, like at the Capcom show, they actually did show his face. I mean, he looks like a slightly older, slightly more busted version of Resident Evil 2 remake Leon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we won't know more. It doesn't come out until March of next year because everything is coming out next year.
Right.
It's gonna be a fucking nightmare. But yeah, like, it looks good. I'm excited. I hope, as long as I can kick things, I don't care.
Yeah, we have not seen any melee combat yet, but I mean, they got it. They know.
They know, right?
They
have
know.
to know, right? Right?
Ashley's new design looks really good.
Looks cute. Yep. They showed just a brief shot of her face in a photo, and you can kind of see her new outfit.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, right now, there's just so little of Resident Evil 4 remake to, like, really be able to latch onto. But what I saw, it sure as hell looks like RE4, right? So
I feel confident that they know what's important to keep and what they can afford to change, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we're going to get a trailer at one point, and Leon's going to say, "Where's everyone going? Bingo?" And we're going to know.
Yeah, we're going to know. Yeah, I hope so. I sure hope so. So, yeah, but I mean, like, it looks really good. It looks, like, immaculate, so.
Yeah. We might lose your right hand comes off.
We
probably
will lose that.
But I don't think they're going to cut "Where's everyone going?" Bingo.
I sure hope not.
We also better not cut the one Ganado that steals Leon's coat. In fact, what we should do is get the option to take the coat back.
We should get the option to kick that Ganado's ass and get Leon's cool coat back. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
They also announced 7, 2, and 3 next-gen updates.
Sure. Looks great.
Cool.
Great.
Yay.
Cool. And then they also didn't announce anything for Dragon's Dogma.
Nope. They went, hey, Dragon's Dogma is going to turn 10 years old. Bye.
Bye. Itsuno-san was just like, we've got videos coming out later in the week. So long, suckers. And you're like, hold on, get back. No, Itsuno, you also get back here and tell me about your new video game that I know you're working on. Come here.
Itsuno, you are not Kojima. You cannot do that. You do not have the guts to do that.
His fucking Dragon's Dogma drip, though. Good for him.
Oh, I love that coat. I want that hoodie.
God. And that's it. That's all we got. We're done.
For now, like we said, Square Enix is in 2 days.
I'm dying, Piglet.
Unfortunately, we won't get to talk about it until, like, I don't know. since next week is going to be Final Fantasy Origin, we could shove our reaction to whatever they show there.
Yeah, we'll just have to be like at the very beginning, like, okay, right before we talk about Stranger Paradise, we have to talk about maybe the Final Fantasy VII 2 trailer? See?
Maybe?
We sure hope so. Everybody, all of the Twitter accounts for Final Fantasy VII Remake people are like saying like, hey, you should really tune in to the Square Enix 10-minute conference presentation on Thursday. And it's like, okay, Square Enix, but if you're pulling my leg, I'm gonna show up at your house with a gun.
I think I said it while we were streaming, but like 10 minutes is enough time to show off a trailer for The First Soldier, a trailer for Ever Crisis, and a shot of Cloud and Calm.
That's all I need, please.
That's it.
And then be like, we'll have more for you at TGS, and we'll all go, okay, thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
enough to tide me over.
That will keep me from turning into a slavering freak for the next, however long it takes. So please, I don't want to become one of the hollowed. Please, thank you. Okay, Ben, I'm dying. We have to wrap it up. I'm wilting at this point, my man.
We are done.
We're done. That's too many shows. I hate this conference. I hate this fucking format. It sucks so much.
I'm so happy E3's back next year.
And I hope people actually show up for it, because seriously, this sucks ass.
Yeah.
So just get it all into 2 or 3 shows, please. Fuck, this sucks. Okay.
We only had one thing that we got really, really. It was just like last year with fucking Metroid Dread.
I know, it's like this. I know, it's dreadful. Ha, dreadful. I'm funny. Ben, do the outro spiel before I die.
All right, thank you to Broke Free for your background music. You can follow me on Twitter at The Gorge Podcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast.gmail.com. And if you want to listen to Sara talk about other things, you listen to our other podcast.
Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We have multiple games running at the same time. We kind of like cycle through them. Right now, we are playing Masks, A New Generation. We actually just recorded the season finale for that. The first episode of that will go up this week. The next one will go up next week. It's probably some of the best actual play we've ever done, and possibly some of the best actual play you, dear listener, will ever hear. So I demand you go and start listening to the Masks block, because it's really good. If you don't know, Masks, A New Generation is a game about being young superheroes trying to make your way in the world, and it's really, really good. So yeah, we are Big Gay Nerds wherever you get your podcasts, and you can find the links to our social media under the same name. Thanks. Oh my god, I'm so tired.
All right, that'll do it.
Oh god.
That'll do it for us.
Seriously, fuck this conference schedule format. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's why was Jeff Keighley's show that he hosted on a Thursday afternoon?
It was like a Thursday afternoon. Why did Jeff Keighley's show one of the worst ones?
Why did they only have like 2 shows on the week, like a day on the weekend?
Yeah.
Like you shove, like, how do you not just like, okay, at 9 o'clock, something's like 9 o'clock Eastern, something's starting. We're not going to stop until 6.
Yeah. How do you just not have like a conference going of like shit all day? Just one day, instead of having it all scattered across over like basically 2 weeks.
And then a lot of the shows on this E3 recap site were not on Jeff Keighley's schedule.
No, and a lot of these games are just getting shown at multiple shows. You could just fucking condense all of this shit down into one, like, manageable, extremely long stream that you just kind of pop in and out of, right? Like, yeah. It's so bad. I hate this format. I need E3 to come back. The one thing I will say is that this dog shit format, I've seen everybody on Twitter saying it. It's like everybody's going, "Oh my god, I miss E3 so badly because this is just wretched," right? Like these little piecemealy shows all over the place. It sucks ass. Bring back real E3.
We need it back. That's all. That's it. We need just our weekend of gaming.
Please, God, and maybe like a Monday so I can take a day off for video games. That's it. That's it. We're done. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.